Hello and welcome back to Corby's Puppetry Course. This week we're continuing with our marionettes and we're going to assemble them. This week you will need your bag of cleaned up marionette parts and your smaller bag of gubbins. You'll also need your pliers and your cutters. And there's also your handy instruction guide so you can follow along with the session. A ruler would also come in handy. So to start off, I'd recommend laying out all of your bits in order so we know what goes where. So if you have a look at this will give you an idea of how all the marionette parts fit together. So we have our head and our neck and our body, and then we have upper arm, lower arms and hands, waist, upper legs, lower legs and feet. And then we've got our gubbins over here. So we have two larger pieces which are hinges for the legs and two smaller pieces which are hinges for the arms. And these rubbery pieces are for connecting the legs and the body and the waist. There's also the head plug and the body plug, but these are not needed this week, so put them back in your bag. Your pokey tool may also come in handy for this session. We're going to start off by connecting our feet to our legs. Now the technique I'm going to show you is going to be used for connecting most of our pieces. We need to take our plastic filament, and what we're going to do is we're going to push it through the foot and the leg, which will connect them together. So just be nice and gentle with this. It will fit through, but it's a nice snug fit. So just be nice and patient. The legs will go with either of the feet, so choose a pair. And what we're going to do is we need to push this filament through the hole in the foot, and then it will go through the leg and back through the other side of the hole. I'd recommend running your piece through like this, as this will straighten up the plastic, and then you can take it out and it'll be easier when you put the leg on. You need to make sure the leg is flat at the front with the hinge facing backwards. You can also use your pliers to slowly work it through as well. And bring it through, leaving a little bit of the filament on each side, and with your snippers just cut off your filament. And as you can see, we have a foot that can wiggle around. We now need to seal up this filament so it doesn't slide out, because we don't want our foot falling off. Now what you need to do is give a little squeeze with your pliers to flatten that off. And then you want to bend these two pieces down. You can use your fingers for this. And there we go, we've almost got a little staple running through the foot, and now it won't be able to come off. Now we need to repeat the same steps with our other leg. Now we're going to connect the two legs together with this little hinge piece. So use this side first, and it's exactly the same technique. So push the filament through, snip it with your cutters, give it a squeeze with your pliers, and bend it down with your fingers. Same with the other leg. And now we have this hinge piece on, which will allow our leg to move. We can attach the top of the leg in the same way. And here we go, two completed legs. Now we need to attach the legs to the waist. They're going to be attached a little bit differently. Rather than the filament, we're going to be using these little rubber pieces. You need to grab the leg, and you should see that these line up perfectly. So we need to give it a little push in, and I'd use your pokey tool to just help it go through nice and gently. You can also go back with your nail file and sand this a bit more if it's really tight. And we want this to sit in the middle of the leg. Same with the other one. And now with the other end of the rubber piece, put it into your waist. Make sure you get this the right way round. You'll notice that one side has little triangles on it and the other side is round. The side with the triangles is the front of our piece, so make sure you get this the right way round. And we'll go one leg at a time. So line it up, use your fingers to start to push it in, and then grab your pokey tool and start poking it in. Repeat this with the other leg. And you can see these rubber pieces give us lots of movement. Now we're going to put these legs to the side and concentrate on our arms. We're going to connect the hands to the lower part of our arms, which are these pointy ones. They'll fit in nicely like this. In your bag of gubbins, you're going to need the fishing wire and your black thread. I'd also suggest grabbing a ruler because it will make this a lot easier. Now we need to tie a knot in this where the loop is 33 milliliters long. So this can be a little bit tricky. Use your pokey tool to help curve this out. Any knot will work for this. I'd advise tying a few knots so that your piece doesn't slip through. And when you've got a knot, just snip it off with your snippers. Leave some excess when you cut it so that you can tie some more knots if needed. Now we need to get this loop to go through our arm. So what we're going to do is we need to take this fishing wire and push it through the arm, and then we bring it through this loop, and then we bring the fishing wire back down the arm. On the other end, you can just give it a pull nice and gently, and the black knot will come through. And when you're happy that it won't come through, just snip off these excess pieces. Now repeat again with your other arm. And now we have a loop here, we're going to return to using our filament, just like we did with the legs. So push it through the hand, and you want to place your black loop inside the hand. Make sure the filament goes through your black loop, and then push it through like that. And now we can cut that. And from here it's identical to what we did with the legs. So give it a squeeze and bend that down like so. And here we have two hands attached to our lower arms. We want them to be nice and floppy, as that will give us lots of nice movement when we're operating the marionette. Now it's time to connect our lower arm and our upper arm. Now this looks very similar to the leg. We need our little plastic hinge here, which we're going to put in between the two pieces. The difficulty now is there's a knot in here, so it might be a little bit more fiddly. And now we have two floppy arms. Now we're going to attach the head to our body. For this, you'll need the white cord that's inside your gubbins bag. So we're going to tie a bit of string that's going to go through our body, and then through our neck, and then through our head. So get your little pokey tool. What you need to do is poke through the hole, make sure it can get through nice and easily. Same with the neck, make sure nothing's stuck in there. And same with the head too. And now we can tie the head together. Bring your cord through the neck. You can use the pokey tool to help feed it in. And then fish it out of this hole. And then tie a few knots on the end of your string. And now give it a pull, just make sure it won't come through. Bring it through the neck. And then feed it through the head, starting from the bottom and going to the top. Remember, use your pokey tool to help feed it through. And feed that through the head. We need to tie a knot really close to the head, otherwise we'll end up with a long stringy neck like this. So pull all your pieces nice and tight, and then tie some knots as close to the head as you can. And then snip off the cord. And then you'll have a head that connects to your body. If you look inside your gubbins bag, you'll notice there's a little dot. Now this actually plugs up the head. So just bring this over the top of your knot and you can push this in. Once this is in, it'll be very hard to get it out. So make sure you're happy with your head. And now, using the same technique, we're going to attach our arms. So make sure your pokey tool can go all the way through the hole. Bring the cord through, tie a couple of knots and then pull it through. Now make sure you get the hands on the correct side of the body. And then tie a few knots as close to the body as possible. I'm going to tie a second one for extra strength. And snip it off. And the same again with the other arm. So we have the top half of our body and the bottom half of our body, so we just need to connect them together. You should have one final of these rubber pieces, and it gets inserted the same way as the legs, but this time on the top. Push it in and then use the pokey tool to gently force its way into the middle. And there we go, a beautiful assembled marionette. Well, that's all for this week. Next week, we're going to be learning how to sculpt and decorate this 3D printed puppet. Fantastic. Well, don't forget to join one of our puppetry sessions on Tuesdays 6 till 7 or Wednesdays 4 till 5, where you can ask me any questions you might have on this project, or I can help you with one of your other puppetry projects. I will see you then. Bye-bye.